Hi everyone, these are your February 2017 horoscopes, and that's a month of love and a month of eclipses as well. We'll go in depth about it, but because it's the month of love, I want to bring you a very cheap and affordable webinar just for $19, below $20, that I'll do on the 12th of February, right after the eclipse and before February the 14th, the celebration of love. And it's gonna be on compatibility and love according to ancient method, Vedic method. We're gonna look at the soulmate chart, the 9 divisional on the Vamsha chart, and compare it to the birth chart of one person and the other. This is a technique that is very rare. I haven't seen anyone else use it, but one particular astrologer, and it's ancient one. It's given to her in Tibet, so it's amazing, guys. I personally use it a lot, and it shows whether you're soulmates, basically, because you can have sexual attraction and physical attraction with many people. Are you meant to walk the path together in this lifetime? Is there this attraction? And sometimes people can feel the attraction towards someone else, but the other one might not feel. They might feel sexually attracted to you, but might not feel the pull to spend your life with you. And we're going to be able to see whether it's both ways or one ways. It's an amazing technique. Come and join me, just $20. And then towards the end of February, on the 20-something, I think it was the 26th. Yes, on Sunday again, I'm going to do a webinar all about Neptune. Those of you who took all about Uranus, my webinar, you'll get a discount for it. And so come and join me for this one. It's been success, 6-7 hours it carries on. Cancer, February 2017, and I want to walk you through the 2 eclipses, the lunar and the solar ones, because especially Cancers are very sensitive always to the eclipses, because the eclipses always involve the moon, whether it's the moon being eclipsed or the moon eclipsing the sun. So even though they're not happening in your sign, Cancer, you always get more affected than other people. Not necessarily in an outer way, not necessarily in a material, tangible way, but at least emotionally. So just warning you, because it is eclipse time, especially around the time, the week around the both eclipses. One is on the one eclipse, the lunar eclipse, is on the 10th of February, the other, the solar eclipse, is on the 26th of February. And if you're feeling kind of more emotional, more sensitive, more reactive, just remember it's eclipse time. You always feel like that around eclipses, especially the more intuitive Cancers. And eclipse times tend to bring fated events in regards to the house or the area of the horoscopes they're happening in. So now let's walk you through these 2 eclipses. And actually, the lunar eclipse is particularly auspicious because look the powerful, beautiful configuration it's making. This is the moon on the 10th of February, and the lunar eclipse acts a month before and 40 days after the exact day of the eclipse. So till the end of March, you'll be strongly under the influence. We all will be strongly under the influence of this lunar eclipse. And in particular, it's happening in your 2nd house, Cancer. So it will have specific influence and effect on your finances and material situation. But this eclipse will give you something. This eclipse is positive because, first of all, look, the moon only has so many positive aspects. The green lines are positive aspects. And look at the beautiful shape all the planets are forming on the day of the eclipse. So it means this eclipse is balanced, it's more beneficial, there's lots of support coming in regards to it. And even though there might be some fated events and changes that eclipses always bring, especially in regards to your family, 2nd house, in regards to your stability, financial situation, comforts, what brings you security, but it will bring something to you. Why is that? Let's look why. First of all, this lunar eclipse is caused by Rahu. The moon is conjoined with Rahu, which is the north node of the moon, which means Rahu is a point of gaining something. Rahu is a point of receiving something, tangible, material. Also, the moon, look at that. It's part of a grand trine, this triangular shape here with Saturn and Uranus. And grand trines are about opportunities that come to you. They're about opportunities that flow into your life, inspiration, like a gift from God from above. So something to do with your security, financial, emotional, material, can come as an opportunity to you, triggered because of this full moon, and you can see the results up till the end of March, or even a bit later after that. And not only that, but this opportunity, which is the grand trine and inspiration that comes to you, is also solidified by the moon being part of this other shape, which we call a mystic rectangle. It's a square shape. And a mystic rectangle is about manifesting something in a material way again, just like the trine is inspiration and opportunity, but sometimes we can just miss that inspiration and opportunity unless we implant it in a practical way into life. And the square shape is very practical, so the planets will also give us the opportunity and the push to do something about it and to make it implant in a long way to manifest materially. So I do believe, Cancers, that you can gain something material. And what is a full moon as well? Full moon is about something coming to fruition. This is when the moon, which rules material things, which rules growth, it rules the growth of plants as well, you know. And when the moon has grown the highest, something can manifest and grow also in our life. And look, as we said, it's with Rahu, which is about giving something material. It's part of beautiful configurations, mystical, beautiful shapes. So something, Cancers, can grow financially for you, some financial opportunities, some even if it's not exactly financial, something that will guarantee lasting stability into your family, lasting stability into your life, emotional stability or financial stability, something that improves your self-worth, something that allows your self-worth to grow as well. But I do believe it will also directly impact your financial material situation, your assets, resources that come to you. So watch out those results happening. Even if it's something shakes you up materially, financially, believe me, it will lead to this manifestation and fruition of this beautiful energy. And so watch out over the next 6 months, basically, how this plays out, and be open to such things, be open to accepting such things. Something will manifest there in a material way. Okay, then the other eclipse, Cancers, is happening in Pisces, which is quite supportive for Cancer. It's another water sign. It doesn't clash with you energetically. If anything, it supports you energetically. And you can be quite sensitive around that time because it's happening in the sign of Pisces, which is very emotional. The moon is involved. You're the moon as Cancers, of course. The moon is eclipsed by the sun, so it means that, the moon eclipses the sun, but the moon is invisible itself. Usually the moon, you know, it's like a new moon on steroids. So definitely you might be feeling a bit more psychotic around the full and the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. Especially this one is so emotional, with so much Pisces, with so much watery energy, emotional energy, and Neptune is part of that eclipse as well. This is when all those planets are together. Neptune is part of the eclipse. Mercury is part of the eclipse. When the mind is eclipsed as well, because the Mercury becomes part of the eclipse, you can feel like, oh, you're losing your, like, fears from the subconscious can be coming more, and that's for everyone, but I specifically mention it for Cancers because you are one of the most psychic signs, guys, and you tend to feel those moods and flows of the astral energies much more. So if around the 26th of February, maybe a week before and a week after, you're feeling out of sorts, you're feeling more touchy, more emotional, if you feel like your mind is maybe something from the subconscious, past memories can come to the surface. You know, Pisces is about past memories resurging and coming up. And Neptune, something hidden, something mystical almost. But it's happening in your ninth house. So the ninth house is a very supportive house, it's a very positive house. And it's part of Ketu eclipse, which means just like Rahu gives something material and tangible, Ketu takes something material and tangible. It asks us to release something. But because it's part of a solar eclipse, solar eclipses, you see, you have the sun and moon, mother and father together. during a solar eclipse, creating something new. So solar eclipses do create new beginnings, which can manifest over the next 6 months, by the way, Cancers, for you. But first you might be asked to release something. Maybe you're already feeling it in January. You can feel solar eclipse a month or two sometimes before. And you can feel it up to 6 months after that. But now let's see specifically in what areas are more likely that you might have to release something to make space for something new that is going to fruition over the next 6 months. Well, the 9th house is anything to do with your higher purpose. Maybe you might have to release some kind of, because the 9th house is the house of Sagittarius, basically, where we put an arrow and we aim it towards the future, something that gives us meaning, something that we have to, that makes us awake and gives us reasons to awake every morning with purpose, to get out of bed and have a meaningful life. You know, such an important house. I mean, if you have an amazing 10th house, you can manifest career. You have amazing 2nd house, you can manifest money. If you have an amazing 7th house, you can manifest relationships. But if your 9th house is crap in your birth chart, you just won't feel any of this is meaningful. You just won't feel like this is connecting you to higher purpose in some way. And even if you're not spiritual, even if you don't believe in grand design of the universe, but anyone who watches astrologists basically have reached that belief that there is a grand design. Even if you don't believe it, if your 9th house is, you know, if your 9th house is good, you'd feel like you're in the right place, the right time, that what you're doing is what you're meant to be doing. So when there is an eclipse in your 9th house, activating it, I was trying to give you some kind of a history a little bit about the 9th house so you can understand it. So when there is an eclipse on your 9th house, such a spiritual house, something about your purpose will be changing. Something about how you envision your long-term future, something what gives you meaning to wake up in the morning. Almost like it can release you from old beliefs over the next 5-6 months about something that you thought who you were, you thought what your purpose was in life. You might first, because of this eclipse, be asked to release certain self-beliefs about your future, about life overall, because new such beliefs will be implanted in your life. And watch out the whole February and March for such things starting to happen. And new long-term goals, not only long-term motivation that makes you wake up in the morning, will be given into you, will be given new awareness of what reality is like and what's the purpose of your life will be given. And often I can see like people, when this happens, when the 9th house is so strongly activated for you is by the eclipse, for example, decide to pre-qualify, decide something that can emerge over the next 6 months, like starting to study something new for you, that will put you on a new direction, that will put you into a new career. That's why 9th house rules higher education, or the knowledge you need to put you on some career, for example, you know, to put you but something that not you're just studying to get a degree, something that is purposeful and meaningful. So some kind of course of higher education, higher knowledge, or high new inspiration that comes in your life. But first, there might be a little bit like of a crisis faith that comes to you, because the initial energy of this eclipse is about releasing old beliefs, is about releasing old paths, about releasing old dharma, something that you've been on a path to. The 9th house is the house of the path that you're walking on. And it can be very spiritual actually in energy. You can be very spiritual the whole February with certain powerful realizations and eureka moments and moments of awareness, almost psychic intuitive awareness, what path you're supposed to leave behind and what you're supposed to get committed for the future onto. And by the way, in ancient astrology, the 9th house rules marriage, the marriage soulmate partner. Why is that? Because this is part of our path in life. And something important as a realization can come to you in regards to your marriage partner or your soul partner. That you have to release, so you make space for a new manifestation on that level. And also there might be the need to release something in regards to foreign countries, but also it will make space for new beginnings in regards to foreign country or higher education or travel in foreign countries of some sort. So it's kind of more mystical house, but I think that you would have a different vision of life after this eclipse, over the next few months after that, you know, a different purpose and goal and meaning in life, basically. So these are the two eclipses. As I said, they don't directly impact you, but they impact houses and specific houses in your horoscope, and this is how they can manifest. And then we have Mars and Venus in your 10th house, Cancer, so most of February. So this can be a very active months in regards to career as well, in regards to your social life. Whatever Mars is, this is where we put lots of energy. This is where we're very entrepreneurial. This is where we're very active. This is where we're very initiative. So you can take actions and get things going and moving in regards to your career, in regards to your some kind of projects or work projects, in regards to your social status that can. It's rare. Mars goes into your 10th house once every 2.5 years. And that's like a rare opportunity once in 2.5 years to energize that area of your life and to get things moving there. And if you're not naturally initiative in such areas, don't worry, some authority figure will come and will push you to put more energy then to prove your positions, your social positions in regards to your career. But if you're more initiative and self-employed, this energy will come to you from inside. To go and change things, move things around. And even if you feel initially a bit more frustrated, because Mars can come at you like, oh, I'm fed up, I'm angry with this position in my career, so I'm going to go and do something about it. Or this project is demanding so much of, you know, or the boss might be like, oh, you're not performing so well, so, or kind of, and it can mobilize you to push and to put more energy. But also Venus is there. So Venus doesn't make you just like a bully at your career, just like Mars can do it, be almost ruthless. Venus can make you more diplomatic. So if you have some important communications with bosses or authority figures, if you want to charm someone and get ahead in your social position, Venus can help that. Okay, and then the last thing is that we have Jupiter going retrograde in your 4th house, Cancer, and it's going to be retrograde till June 2017 for 5 months almost. And it's the first time Jupiter will be retrograde in your 4th house since 12 years. Whether it's your ascendant, sun or moon in Cancer, you can still feel it. So what does it mean? Well, the 4th house is property, place of living. For example, you might decide retrograde is about doing something over. Like you might want to expand your house and to change something around your house while Jupiter is retrograde, you know, and it might take the whole period of retrogradation to complete it because a planet moves slower, things move a bit more, you have to put more effort. It's kind of to change something about your property, about your house, about your family. As well, a retrograde planet requires 3 times more efforts but gives 3 times better results at the time it turns direct. So if you're doing some changes around your home, if you're doing some changes around property and place of living, it's possibly like a period that it requires extra efforts. Things might not immediately be falling into place. You have to research better, you have to put more efforts, but because Jupiter is a beneficial planet, Jupiter is the great benefic, as we call it, even when it's moving retrograde, it means that it brings some opportunities to research something, to improve something. For example, you might have chosen a home to relocate to and Jupiter goes retrograde, to have some plans in regards to your home, and then you might change your mind while Jupiter is retrograding, or it might, something else can appear, so you start re-examining which is the right thing to do, what is the right place exactly to do, or something. There might be also some important changes that are happening in regards to your home and personal family life, but these are happy changes, even though they require more efforts. By June you'd have adapted them and implanted them in your life and kind of be able to internalize them and to work with them much more knowledgeably. So yeah, this is, so if you're, say, if you're in property, if you're anything to do with land, with such matters, for example, while Jupiter is retrograde, you might be working very hectically on such a project, but it might take all the retrograde period until things start, until you start seeing results there. But still opportunities are around because this is Jupiter. So yeah, this is what I see for you, Cancers. Hope you enjoy that monthly horoscope, and I will see you for March.